Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina, and it's time for another Sunday night live stream show. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. Hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. I know I am, as always, and I always enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking fishing, answering whatever questions you might have, and also giving away lots of free trips. So appreciate y'all hanging out and joining us. As always, it's a good time Sunday nights, every Sunday night, right here on our Hubbard's Marina Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. We're going to give away free trips, answer your questions live during the show, and we're going to talk fishing. What's going on now? What's coming up? We're going to talk about the weather. We're going to give you guys a little bit of updates, events, and then answer your questions live, all while giving away over $1,000 in free fishing trips and having a good time while doing it. So hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. Don't forget to like the video for us. It helps us to reach more people. Also, don't forget to tell your friends by sharing the post on your page or your favorite fishing group. We always appreciate that, and it helps us to reach more people. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. If you haven't checked out our friends at Gator Jim's, make sure you do so. Tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you, and you'll get a free gift. Also want to give a shout out to all our supporters out there. If you haven't thought about joining our supporters group yet, you're missing out. It's only $4.99 a month. You get access to our private weekly after show, the supporters after show. Plus, you get private access to the private supporters group. Again, it's only $4.99 a month. It's a great time. Don't miss out on that. And then finally, I want to give a shout out to all of those who have sent stars while we got started tonight. We had a lot of stars senders, and we really appreciate that. If you don't know what stars are, it's a way for those watching on Facebook to kind of show their support, and it helps us to fuel these live shows and continue to do more cool stuff. So really appreciate all of those who are sending stars on Facebook, those who are donating on Twitch, Trovo, and YouTube as well. Stephen Batchelor, Larry White, Tegwin Stockdale, Larry White again, D. Beers, Rich Blazak, Jim Evans, and then a big 1,100 from Tim Harris and 1,000 from Jeff Reedy. Steph Curley, what's going on, man? Terry Feather, appreciate you guys. Tim Dykes with 600. Thank you guys and gals so much. We appreciate all the star senders. If you want a chance to win some free trips tonight, you don't have to send stars or donate on YouTube, Trovo, or Twitch. All you have to do is comment once on our Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. That enters you for a chance to win. So go over to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina page, make sure you like our page, like the video, and then comment one time, whatever you want to comment, anything you want, at least one comment on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream, you're entered to win. You can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on Twitch, Trovo, on the Hubbard's Marina Instagram account. It doesn't matter where you watch, but you do have to comment at least once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream in order to be eligible to win those free fishing trips. So make sure, if you want a chance to win, comment at least one time for that entry. Also, make sure you like and share the video. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you like and share the video. Share it to your favorite fishing group, your timeline, whatever. It really helps. And then also, if you're watching on Instagram, don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to our channel, like us on Instagram, follow us on Trovo, Twitch, check us out on Twitter, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Snapchat, on TikTok. We do all those different social medias, so make sure you check us out and follow our pages. Richard Fonzo, Michael D. Marinville, appreciate those stars. Scott Flynn as well. Tony Barnes, appreciate you all. Thank you so much. So make sure you check out all those different social medias. Make sure you follow us. And then with that, let's get into some photos and show you guys what we're catching. Then we're going to talk a little bit about weather. We're going to sprinkle in a few free trips. We're going to give away a 5-hour for 2, a 10-hour for 2, a Salinity gear gift pack, and our 39-hour fishing trip for one lucky winner. Remember, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you have 5 minutes or less to text us on that phone number on the screen in order to be eligible for a chance to claim those free trips. So make sure that you not only watch the show live and comment once, but then if you're picked as the lucky winner, you got 5 minutes or less to claim that free trip at the phone number on the screen. You got to text us your full home address. That's how it works in order to claim those free trips. So make sure you do it. All right. With that, let's get into those inshore photos, show you guys what we're catching inshore, then we'll work our way nearshore and then offshore. So black drum bite has picked up quite a bit. Water's cooling off. Those black drum are getting really prolific and aggressive around the bridge, around the jetties, around the docks. We're seeing a lot of those black drum. Redfish bites going really well around the area, mangrove shorelines, grass flats, oyster bars. Cut deadbait starting to be a real good option. Our good buddy Bobby Woodard, Captain Bobby Woodard from Fly 'em High Charters, I saw he was watching, loves the cut ladyfish. Captain Mike Anderson, he loves those cut thread fins, cut pinfish. But the deadbait on the flats is a good option for these redfish, plus slower moving soft plastics, always a great option. Early morning, you can use those topwater lures. The redfish bite has been hot. Sheep's head are picking up significantly. It's always funny to me this time of year. There is a syndicate of shore-based commercial fishermen who commercially fish for these sheep's head. Especially this time of year. They spend a lot of time on the seawalls, on the docks, on the bridges, and catch coolers full of sheep's head and sell them. And they show up this time of year. And when I see them show up, I know the sheep's head are getting thick. Today they crushed it, filled a 100-quart cooler full of sheep's head in Johns Pass. So sheep's head are thick and only getting thicker and more aggressive right now. So great time to target the sheep's head. Snook action has really migrated into the back bays, the upper bay. The back bay dark mud really radiates and traps heat. So through the morning time, through that midday time, it traps a lot of sunlight. The afternoon radiates a lot of heat. Those snook really tend to flock to those sun-drenched and sun-baked shorelines in the lee of the wind. And look for areas where the water's just a little bit warmer and they tend to feed a lot better. We're still catching some snook around the pass, but they're fewer and further between and a lot more trickier to get feeding. Most of the snook have really moved into the back bay area. You could see the darkness of that snook definitely much further up in the bay, closer to that brackish water. Same with that one, real dark back. The big trout have also picked up. That this is the time of year we start to see a lot of big trout start picking up. The water cools off. Those trout get a little bit shallower on us. They get a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more aggressive, and in a little bit higher numbers. So good time to target the trout as well. This angler posted on Salt Strong that he crushed these big trouts on a surface lure, the Moonwalker 2.0 that Salt Strong has. He caught a half dozen of these big yellowmouth gator trout in the early morning when it was overcast on those surface plugs. So definitely a good option for you in the early morning, targeting those trout, shallow water, shallow flats, especially low light conditions. The surface top water plugs are going to be a good option. Dusk, dawn, through overcast conditions, all really good options for those surface lures. If it's really clear, if there's a lot of light, the surface plugs aren't as good of an option. But definitely early morning, overcast days, the surface lures are a lot of fun. Plus, you can't beat that blow up when a fish tackles your surface plug. There's just really nothing better. I used to fish with them a lot on the flats inshore, and it didn't even matter if you hooked the fish. Watching a big redfish, snook, trout, whatever it was, blow up on your surface lure is always very exhilarating and a lot of fun. I always grew up using the Top Dog or the Top Putt from Mirror, but there's a lot of cool ones out there right now, and definitely Salt Strong's Moonwalker has been a really, really big local favorite. But there's a lot of them out there to try and test out and enjoy. But low light conditions, remember that when you're working those surface lures. Samuel Lang, appreciate those 200 stars, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's work our way into some nearshore and offshore photos. Show you guys what we're catching a little deeper. Gag grouper are definitely really, really going well for us. Offshore, nearshore, and even inshore, we've been crushing the gag grouper on our private fishing charters, trolling the Mirror Lure 25 plus lipped diving plug around those nearshore waters, shallow as 30, 40 feet, as deep as 50, 60, 70 feet, crushing the gags, limiting out, throwing back keeper gags on our 5, 6, and 8 hour private fishing charters. The Hub today caught a limit of gags and then went and targeted hogfish. Flying Hub 2 caught a limit of gags. It's just absolutely amazing. The extreme trip got canceled because the weather was a little rough. It was definitely bumpy offshore. We stayed close to shore in shallow waters, picked up a 5-hour half-day private fishing charter, and went out there trolling for gags and crushed it. So the gag grouper fishing is going really well right now. Check out one of those private charters. We got a lot of availability this week. If you want to hop on a private charter and crush some gags or just learn how to troll for gag grouper, you can give us a shout, and Captain James, Captain Seabass, Captain Sal, any one of those guys can take you out there and show you some ropes on trolling for those gag grouper. Definitely a good opportunity right now to land your gag grouper nearshore, offshore, whatever you want to do, because gags are going to close December 31st, the end of the year. Red grouper are going to open right away, so we'll still have grouper to target. But gag grouper season next year is going to be real short, and it's going to close before they really come in shallow and really start biting well. Remember, 2023 gag grouper season is September 1st through November 10th. So only about 2.5 months, a little less than 2.5 months to catch your gag groupers next year, whereas this year we've got 6 months. They're open June 1st through the end of the year. So really, really important you capitalize on your gag grouper now while you can, because they're going to get harder to catch, or harder to keep, I should say, because the season is going to really shrink on you next year. So keep that in mind. Also, besides gag grouper, I guess we should talk about some other fish too, huh? Let's see what else we got here, near shore and offshore. Here's a nice big catch from a recent 39-hour trip. I was out of town this week, so unfortunately didn't have the big 39-hour catch for you on a live video this morning. I was landing at the St. Pete Clearwater Airport as that 39-hour trip was offloading this morning. So I didn't get to work today until about 9:30, 10 a.m., but here's some nearshore gags. Captain Seabass here showing off some nearshore gag grouper trolling on the Hub during private fishing charters. You can see we're really, really doing well on the gag grouper. Hogfish bites really going well for us too. The hogfish are going well on the nearshore private fishing charters on our 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days. Really, really crushed it this past week on the hogfish as well. The toy drive is still going on too. We got the toy drive going all the way through, I believe it's December 15th. We've got our Black Friday deals going on as well. Black Friday deals started Black Friday, and they are going to go all the way through December 17th. So we've got Black Friday deals. We've got the toy drive going on. Lots of great ways to get discounts and hopefully some awesome opportunities to get out there on the water and take advantage of that toy drive. We're offering 25% off on trips from now till December 15th if you show up with an unwrapped new toy. So bring a toy with you, come out and do a half-day trip, go target some hogfish, or come out and do a private charter and just bring a toy with you to help out the local community. Don Shewitt, appreciate those stars, buddy. John Bull as well. Thank you so much, guys. So with that, let's get into some weather and talk to you guys about what's going on now and what's coming up weather-wise. So let's see what's going on weather-wise. I'm a little out of touch with the weather myself, being out of town this week. Definitely threw things off for me. Craig Robinson, appreciate those stars, buddy. In order to check out the weather, we're going to pop over to hubbardsmarina.com. We're going to click on fishing trips. We're going to scroll down to the weather links page. If you haven't checked out our new website, make sure you do so. It's really, really cool. The website is definitely revamped, renewed, and pretty interesting. So check it out if you have an opportunity. All right, with that, weather. We're going to start inshore at our Egmont Key Channel entrance. This is 16 miles southwest of Johns Pass. You can see here, pretty breezy day today. That's why that 12-hour stream unfortunately got canceled. Tomorrow we get a little bit of a weak frontal boundary, not a lot of wind, but a little bit of a north wind, going to dry things up, cool things off a little bit for us. Only about 2 foot, 2.5 foot. Then we're going to get that high pressure settling in behind the front, going to clear up the sky, get that blue sky without any clouds up there. We're going to get a little bit of an increased, more easterly flow with that high pressure, but not crazy wind. So only, again, right around 2 foot Wednesday, about 2.5, 3 foot on Wednesday. So Tuesday, less than 2 foot. Wednesday, around 2 to 3 foot. Then it gets a little bit more increased as that pressure gradient tightens, and we get more wind there Thursday and into Friday, but still near shore, plenty doable, 2 to 3 foot. So really 5-10 hour forecast area all the way through the 7-day period, 2 to 3 foot or less. So a little bit more windy there, kind of Thursday night into Wednesday morning, and then Thursday and into Friday. But as far as the eye can see, totally fishable near shore in the shallower water areas. So good opportunities to get out there for sure, and hopefully capitalize on some of those hogfish and gags. Craig Robinson, Adrian Garsol, appreciate those stars. We're going to pop back to the Hubbard's Marina Weather Links page, scroll down to our offshore forecast area. So the wind pattern is the same. Tuesday and into Wednesday is going to be a little breezier. Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend, definitely more significant. Offshore today, definitely breezy, bumpy, and wet. Tomorrow, different story. Dries up for us, not as breezy. Seas are going to calm down for us. Solid 3 foot. Then it picks up with the wind. Wednesday's going to get up to 4 foot. Then the weekend looks to be about 4 to 5 foot for most of the weekend. So going to be a bumpier weekend offshore, but 5 and 10 hour forecast areas near shore are going to be plenty fishable. So we're going to be taking advantage of that near shore gag grouper bite and targeting those hogfish for sure. We're going to pop over to Mike's weather page and look at our prog charts here real quickly. Always gives us a great idea of exactly what's going on. So today we've got that low pressure approaching the area. That's that blue line there, and that's what's causing the south wind. We've got a high pressure here and then a low pressure gradient sucking wind from the south right up to this low pressure system. So that's what's causing the wind today. Tomorrow, going to be less wind, going to be calming down seas wise, going to be a little bit cooler, and that's why. Cold front passes by. We get a little reprieve before that next frontal boundary, and that space between boundaries, what's going to give us our nice little weather window. And that's important this time of year, capitalizing on those little weather windows. Then later in the week, Tuesday and into Wednesday, Wednesday, it was Wednesday into Thursday, we picked up a little bit of wind, and this is why that high pressure moves past, and then we kind of get that occluded front stalling out to our south. We got a lot of severe weather behind it getting pushed ahead of that next front. So that's going to be what causes some more wind later in the week, high pressure and easterly flow feeding these big storms. And then let's see what the weekend, why they're calling for so much wind over the weekend. Here's Wednesday and Thursday, big frontal boundary, high pressure fighting over the area. Friday, that little frontal boundary. So just pressure gradients, high pressures fighting over low pressures. Right above my head there, you can see that kind of orangish line. That's what's causing that severe wind over the weekend. So still early. Some things can change, but near shore fishing is going to be pretty darn good. Hogfish, gag grouper, really good time to get out there and target those species near shore. When the wind's blowing, you can't go deep. Stay shallow. Target those hogfish and those gags. Because that's what's biting really well right now near shore. Tim McCardle, appreciate those stars, buddy. And if you can't make it offshore, stay on the dock and target those sheepshead. The sheepshead bite has been hot. With that, let's give away our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away, let's do our 10-hour all-day trip first. Let's see who won a 10-hour all-day trip for two guests. 10-hour all-day trip for two guests. Lucky winner is Pat Ferry from Enterprise, Alabama. Congratulations, Pat, on that lucky win of the 10-hour all-day trip for two guests. It was a 10-hour all-day trip for two guests. You got to text us at that phone number on the screen. You got about 5 minutes to claim that free trip. By texting the phone number on the screen, your full home address. So make sure you do that. Cassandra Sizemore, appreciate those 50 stars. Thank you so much. With that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some upcoming events. We definitely had a great time there this past Friday at our crawfish boil. If you missed out on the crawfish boil, the final Friday event, you really missed out. I'm sad I couldn't be there. I saw some of the photos. It was a killer time. Josh, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you killed it, huh?
Oh, it was delicious. If you guys didn't come out, you guys definitely missed out.
Yeah, I saw some of the food, man. The sausage, the crawfish, the mussels, the crab legs, the oysters, the free beer, the free water, free soda, the killer deals in the shop. Definitely a good opportunity to come enjoy some food and fellowship. We got cornhole set up. So final Friday, every final Friday, we're going to throw a big party. The final Friday in December, we're going to make it kind of a big blowout. We're going to have some really cool stuff going on in the shop. We're going to have potentially some barbecue, kind of working on that right now, and then some more seafood. We're thinking either another crawfish boil or maybe a fish fry, some sort of seafood, barbecue, free beer component, cornhole, and a good time. So definitely mark your calendars, December 30th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You don't want to miss out on these final Friday events. Remember, there's live music inside John's Pass. There's a big stage set up in front of Delosis. Caddies has a bunch of killer deals and really cool bands. And then Hubbard's Marina, we're throwing big party, free food, free drinks, and cornhole and deals in the shop. Just all around good times every final Friday. So don't miss out on these final Friday events, the last Friday of every month. So definitely enjoy it. Let's see what else we got. December 17th, we've got our Regulars Club and Supporters Club big Christmas party. If you're a part of our regulars club or the supporters group, the private supporters group, check out December 17th, 4 to 7 p.m. We're going to have a party just for you guys in the waiting area. Lots of free stuff, free food. We're going to have that catered by a barbecue company. We're going to have free beer, free drinks, and still killer deals going on in the shop. Our Black Friday deals run through the end of days, December 17th. Plus, we're going to have some special deals for the supporters and the regulars club that night, December 17th. So join us if you're a supporter or regulars club member, December 17th. And then everybody and their brother and mother and sister are invited out December 30th for our last final Friday of the year, New Year's Eve. Gary Steedman, appreciate those 780 stars. Thank you so much, Gary. We appreciate it, buddy. All right, so we talked about our events coming up. We don't have a Bass Pro Shops event in December. We typically take December off just because it's super crazy. We got lots of stuff going on in the weekends. So no Bass Pro Shops event in December. We'll have one coming up in January, which we'll be announcing very soon. Also, schedule-wise, December 1st, this Thursday at 11 a.m., speaking of schedules, our schedule for 2023 comes live, becomes public. So if you want a chance to book a 39-hour, a 44-hour, a 12-hour, a 5-hour shark trip for 2023, December 1st, 11 a.m., schedule opens up. At 11:01 a.m., a lot of spots are going to get filled up. So make sure you book early, book often. Booking online is the fastest way to select and save your spots, but they go real fast. So make sure you're standing by December 1st, 11 a.m. to book up what spots you want for what trips you want. We've got Red Snapper June 1st through probably around August 18th, mid-August sometime. We will have gag groupers September 1st through November 10th. We should have red grouper January 1st through around July, August. We should have triggerfish March, April, May, and then August, September, October, November, and December. We should have amberjack September and October. And I think that's everything. Scamper all year, mangroves are all year, yellowtails all year, hogfish bite best in cooler months. So lots of great opportunities out there on the water. Don't forget to book your trips December 1st. That's Thursday at 11 a.m. Make sure you book them early and book often. I think that was all the big announcements I wanted to go over tonight. So let's get into some questions and answer some questions for y'all. And hopefully you have some questions for us. Remember, if you have a question, text it to the phone number on the screen. That's the way you get your questions answered live during the show. If you don't text in your questions, we won't see it. If you're commenting on Trovo, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, your comments go really, really fast. So it's hard to see your comments and answer your questions in the comments. So make sure you text in any question you want answered live during the show. So let's see. Does the late sunrise affect the morning 5-hour half day? Yes and no. So a lot of people ask often, what's the best half day trip, AM or PM? Because in our busy months, we'll have a morning and an afternoon half day. And it's always comical to me, the I guess you could say, I don't know what you would call it, but the rumor, the false belief that fish bite better in the morning compared to the afternoon. I guess that just relates to like when you went fishing with your grandpa down by the river or at the lake. It was the early bird gets the worm kind of thing. That is not true. Offshore fishing. We like to be out there. There are certain times that the fish bite better. For example, a sunrise, sunset through the night can be better for certain species. The daytime bite overall in general is about the same, whether it's morning or afternoon. It really comes down to the water temperatures, what the moon is doing, when moonrise is, when those tidal flows or currents are picking up or slacking off. So if the current changes, if the moon rises late in the day, whatever it might be, that influences fishing more than the time of day. However, overall, wintertime, when it's really cool out, typically the afternoon bite is typically a little better. In the summertime, when the water's really warm, sometimes the morning bite is a little better. In the dead of summer, July, August, September, it doesn't matter if it's morning or afternoon. They're still feeling the same amount of heat. It doesn't cool off much. But spring and fall, they tend to, when it's cooler, spring and fall, so early spring, late fall, they typically bite better in the afternoon compared to the morning. In the earliest part of the summer, April, May, June, morning can sometimes be better than afternoon. But outside of that, it comes down to more of the variables. When is the moon rise? When is the solunar, major, minor? What's the water clarity? What's the salinity? All that good stuff. Manny, Rob, appreciate those stars, buddy. Thank you so much. So to answer the question, does the late sunrise affect the morning half-day trip? Right now, the sun rises at 7:19. So by the time you get out there and start fishing, the sun is up. So it's not really a late sunrise because it's the same. It's the same no matter what. So good question, though. I'm scheduled for 3 trips, December 8th through the 13th. Lane Snapper open this year, or did they close them again this year? Lane Snapper are open all year round. There is no season for Lane Snapper. However, we unfortunately reached the quota, and they closed Amberjack, or they closed Lane Snapper this year again early. So Lane Snapper will not be open. They closed November 15th. They will reopen January 1st. So Lane Snapper will reopen January 1st. They will be closed in December, and that is because we caught so many of them, and they're so much larger than they normally are. It's a really healthy, just super populated fishery. So it's a good problem to have, but it is still very frustrating. So no Lane Snapper in December. What type of fish will we be catching the last week of March? Depends on the trip. Depends on how deep you fish, on what you're targeting, where you're targeting it. But overall, in March, it really comes down to the weather. Are we going to have a late winter where we get cold fronts into late February, early March? Are we going to have an early summer where cold fronts stop in January and it starts warming up in February and March? We're going to have a windy spring where we get a lot of high pressure east wind, south wind, and it blows heavy for 3, 4, 5 weeks straight. So it really comes down to where are you fishing, what trip are you fishing on, how deep are you fishing, and what the weather's doing. So it's really hard to answer a question like, what is the fishing going to be like at this time, or what are we going to catch at this time? I can give you a general idea, like say on a 10-hour trip, we catch these fish, which are listed on our website, which really doesn't change much. What changes what we catch is, again, the weather and what's open and what's in season. So it really depends on weather. So it's hard to give you a definite, this is what you're going to catch, but we can give you an idea of what we target year round, and then that's dictated by weather and what's open and how deep we're fishing. But generally, late March, kingfish and mackerel should be around. Hogfish should still be biting pretty good unless it warmed up fast. And lane snapper, red grouper, mangroves, lots of good fish to catch for sure. What can be caught trolling on the 5-hour and 10-hour trips mid-March? Again, really comes down to weather. What's the weather doing? What's the water temperature? If the water is in the right range, about 72 to 73, up to around 77, 78 degrees, We should be able to catch plentiful mackerel, maybe some kingfish, and that's mostly trolling on our 5-hour half days, 39-hour, 44-hour. Our 10-hour and 12-hour trips are generally moving too fast in order to be eligible to troll, generally. Let's see, what other questions do we have? I'm not too busy to go fishing, but I did get up early. But I did get up too early to watch this show live, but I do listen to every week. What? Why are people thinking the show is recorded? I'd love to have more material to listen to watch on Mondays. Oh, he gets up too early in the morning, so he goes to sleep before the show starts. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm a little slow. The supporter show is anything that's posted live is streamed live and then stays on our pages. So yes, the supporters trip or the supporters after show can be watched Monday morning. But the supporters after show is kind of driven by what questions and comments happen during the supporters after show. So sometimes it can be a little led by the viewers. So if you're tuned in and asking questions, it's more valuable to you. Whereas if you're not tuned in and some of the questions get off topic, I mean, we've talked about pickles, mayonnaise, and peanut butter. We've talked about firearms, sausage, a lot. A lot of conversations really revolve around food and guns. I don't know why that is, but that's why I love the supporters group. 39-hour trips. Do the 39-hour trips ever go out and stay closer to shore with forecasted inclement weather? Not really. The 39-hour trip, we fish about 70 to 100 miles. Sometimes we'll fish shallower, like 50 to 70 miles, if it's really forecasted to be like, say, a really hard east wind. And then we might stay a little shallower and do kind of a nearshore route. But it's still not shallow. It's still 100 foot, 120 foot, 130 foot. But sometimes we get a little deeper and we fish a little bit closer to like 250 to 300. So who knows? Always changes. Depends on the weather and what the fish are doing. Do you think I'll be able to go on a 10-hour trip Sunday after coming back from a 39-hour? I am really into fishing, and I am somewhat young, and I'd like to consider myself at least a little bit in shape, at least fishing shape, at least compared to average Joe fishermen. And I don't think I would enjoy doing a 10-hour after a 39-hour trip. That is a grind, but I've known people to do it. We've had quite a few people come out and do a 5-hour half day, stay on the boat, do a 39-hour, come off the boat, do a 10-hour. I've seen it happen, but that's, what's that, 54 hours on a boat. So it is a little bit of a grind, but people do it. It's been done. And you could pull it off, but you have to really want it, and definitely wouldn't plan on going to work on Monday. And if you do plan on going to work on Monday, I wouldn't really plan on being too successful. Not a great work day. You won't accomplish much. But if you're on vacation and you're going to lay around by the pool and maybe drink a beer or two, that's a good way to do it. All right, so it's time to give away another free trip. Let's give away, actually, we're going to give away our Salinity Gear gift pack. We gave away our 10-hour all-day trip already, so we're going to give away our Salinity Gear gift pack now. Let's see who the lucky winner is of that Salinity Gear gift pack. Bob Demmel, congratulations, buddy, on that big win from Virginia Beach. Remember, you have to text in your question, or you have to text in your home address, and then let us know what size shirt you want, and then do you want a hooded or non-hooded long sleeve performance fishing shirt. So let us know, shoot us a text message to the phone number on the screen, your home address, and whether you want a hood or no hood on that long sleeve performance fishing shirt from Salinity Gear, our good friends over there at Salinity Gear. Cassandra Sizemore, appreciate those stars. Thank you, Cassandra. All right, let's answer another question. What size reel, line, and rod is best for hogfish? So I would highly suggest you check out our fishing tips and tricks page on our website. We have some really in-depth, long 15, 20, 30-minute videos on how to catch hogfish, a video with Captain Frank showing you his favorite tackle, his favorite techniques, his favorite lures, his favorite setups for hogfish. But generally, you're fishing with a spinning rod and reel. The only time you want to fish with a spinning rod and reel on the bottom is on a 5 or 10 hour all day. Once you get past about 100, 120 foot of water, don't use the spinning rod and reel for bottom fishing. It's not recommended. It's great for knocker rig fishing, pitch rod fishing, maybe flatline fishing, but shallower than 100 foot, it makes a really good combo for light tackle, snapper fishing, and hogfish. So typically a spinning reel is the best option, around a 4,000 series reel, 3, 4, 5,000 series spinning reel. Smaller is better, a little lighter, a little bit more compact. Braided line is a good option for the reel when you're hog fishing, around 20, 30 pound braid. Then about 15 to 20 feet of 30 pound fluorocarbon or monofilament, 3 to 4 aught hook, and about a 1 to 2 ounce egg sinker, and then maybe 3 to 5 red beads. And bring all that out. We'll show you how to rig it up, how to set it up, or watch the video on our website page. Go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, then click fishing tips and tricks, and you'll be able to find all of that information and more. Bob Demmel, make sure you text in your size and whether you want hooded or non-hooded to the phone number on the screen. Remember, folks, if you're picked as a lucky winner, you got 5 minutes or less to text the phone number on the screen to claim your free trip or your free gift pack from Salinity Gear. Got to text us. 5 minutes or less. Prove you're watching live, and send us your home address. Any news on the Skyway Fishing Pier? No news. That's been 6 years now in the making. Nothing happens fast. State regulations move quicker than federal regulations, but it's definitely going to be a long road, especially in something so controversial and contentious and political as the bird entanglement issue at the Skyway. So very, very tricky, and I don't think anything's going to happen fast. For those of you who are not aware, the FWC is currently investigating some proposed rules to institute at the Skyway. One being limiting the number of rods to three in an angler's possession. They want to eliminate sabiki rigs, and they want to eliminate the use of treble hooks, which is really annoying because you mainly go to the Skyway to catch mackerel or kingfish using treble hooks, or you go to the Skyway to catch bait with sabiki rigs, and you typically go there with a bunch of rods in your truck or van or boat or car because you're going fishing somewhere else. The Skyway is just a stop to load up with bait or mackerel or whatever else. So if they limit it to 3 rods in your possession, they eliminate sabiki rigs, eliminate treble hooks, it's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of anglers, and really, in my opinion, not do what they're hoping to accomplish, which is eliminate or severely impact severe entanglement with seabirds. To me, really, really simple. As the population of seabirds exponentially increases, isn't the likelihood that more anglers are going to encounter them when fishing going to exponentially increase? Seems pretty logical, doesn't it? apparently the logic is lost on many, many people. They are just like, this is outrageous. All these birds are getting entangled in seabirds and fishing line, and we just need to stop fishing. Because the birds, guys, it's because you've done a good job preserving and protecting the bird. Populations are exponentially increasing in numbers of brown pelicans, so more brown pelicans are going to, guess what? Encounter fishermen, get entangled in lines, and have issues. But if you only see a small number of birds get entangled in lines and have serious issues, in relation to the exponential numbers of pelicans we now have since regulation has been coming about, seems like it's really not that big of a deal. But let's continue to argue about proposed rules and regulations when, in reality, you're not really going to do what you're hoping to set out to do, because the number of pelicans is exponentially increasing, and the people who are out there trying to save the pelicans are feeding the heck out of them and attracting so many pelicans to the pier that fishermen encounter them more. When you have a bunch of bird people out there trying to help the pelicans and throw the bait and food to the pelicans all the time, it's going to attract pelicans to fishermen. And guess what happens? They get hooked. So there's a lot of issues. But pelicans were delisted federally in 1985. They were delisted in Florida in 2009. They were downlisted again in 2013 and 14. And there are more pelicans today than in any point in our entire lifetime. I'm 30 years old. There's more pelicans today than there were when I was a kid, when I was born. So in 1991, minuscule number of pelicans. They were listed federally as threatened. Now they are everywhere. And we're concerned, and we're talking about making new fishing regulations because some pelicans are encountering fishermen and getting entangled in fishing line. Very frustrating. So thank you for sending me down that rabbit trail. Got a little worked up there. Have to pull myself back because I could spend a little bit of time on that. It's exactly like American red snapper, Don Shuett. Great correlation. Red snapper, they do a great job managing red snapper, and they shut the fishery down and constricted fishing efforts so much. Now red snapper are exploding. The population's huge, and people can't get away from them. And you always hear people complaining the season's not long enough. It's a conservation success story. There's red snapper everywhere. So when I hear people complaining about all the pelicans getting entangled in fishing lines, I'm like, yo, bro, sounds like a good thing. There's more pelicans than there ever has been. So of course they're going to get entangled in fishing lines. Let's stop the birds from going to the skyway in the first place. Really illogical. Let's get into some more questions. Do we have another question? Let's get off this topic. What's the best setup for your slow pitch jigging trips? In my opinion, Temple Reef makes killer rods. Daiwa has some nice rods. Mustad has some nice rods. Jig Pro has some great rods. Ocean's Legacy, Johnny's Jigs, there's a ton of great slow pitch jigging rods. We carry Mustad and Temple Reef rods in our shop, anywhere from around $120 to $150 up to $700. Those slow pitch jigging trips or slow pitch jigging rods and trips are all offered at Hubbard's Marina. We also have a variety of Daiwa slow pitch jigging reels. The Saltis series is going to be your cheapest kind of more entry-level options, as cheap as like $150 to $250, and then you can get fancy, go with the Saltiga 35JH and spend $500. So lots of great options for you in the shop. Stop by, we can show you the rods and the reels. Jim Evans, appreciate those stars, man. Thank you very much. What is the best bait for tarpon fishing? It depends on what type of tarpon fishing you're doing. Tarpon fishing is not something we specialize in, but we work with a lot of people who specialize in tarpon fishing, and we can get you set up on our website. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, then if you click fishing, fishing to inshore fishing. Oh, it's under private charters, and then private charter fishing. You can find the inshore fishing page as well. Under more info and fishing trips, you can find it as well. So check out our inshore fishing page on our website. You can find out how to book your tarpon fishing charter with Captain Mike Anderson or one of his local guys like Captain Bobby Woodard from Flying High Charters, and a lot of other great people in the area. Also, the Florida-Guides.com website is a great way to look up tarpon fishermen across the state of Florida. If you want to do a trip with TJ Saunders up in the Big Bend, if you want to go down and do a trip with Dreamcatcher Charters in the Keys, look up your statewide fishing guides on Florida-Guides.com. Can I pay? Best bait for tarpon. My favorite bait for tarpon would be, I'm typically fishing around John's Pass for tarpon, so small ladyfish, like anywhere from 12 to 14 inches, or even a cut carcass on the bottom around the boats is a good option. Cut dead bait in the cooler times when the water's dirtier, live bait when the water's a little clearer. Flare hawks at night around the bridge is a good way to target them. During the day, out on the beach, pass crabs. A lot of good options for you. It really depends on the type of tarpon fishing you're doing. And that situation will really dictate the best bait. What's the water clarity? What are they feeding on? What time of year is it? And where are you targeting them? Because that all is going to dictate the best tackle and best technique to approach them. Can I pay to get my line set up for this upcoming 39-hour fishing trip? You can. Go to Gator Jim's Tackle. They can spool up your reels for you. If you buy a rod and reel from us and you buy a spool line, we'll help you put that line on. If you buy a rod and reel from us, we'll offer to put mono on there for you. But if you want a reel spooled up with a spooling machine, we don't have that at Hubbard's Marina. We just don't have the space for it. So stop by our friends over at Gator Gyms. They'll get you set up and spooled up proper for your upcoming adventure. What other questions do we have? Any sand fleas or fiddler crabs good for hogfish? Yes, sand fleas and fiddler crabs both are great baits for hogfish. Live shrimp is typically what we recommend and we use the most. Because it really gets those hogfish fired up. Plus, you have the option to catch lane snapper, mangrove snapper, and a lot of other bycatch. Whereas fiddler crabs or sand fleas, they do really work well for the hogfish, but that's about it. Maybe some porgies. You might catch a gray snapper every now and again, but just the bycatch really goes down. But rock shrimp, sand fleas, fiddler crabs, all really good options for hogfish bait for sure. Let's give away our 5-hour half-day fishing trip now, and then after that we'll answer a few more questions. We'll wrap this show up and give away our 39-hour trip. But let's find out who won our 5-hour half-day trip for two lucky winners. Jeff Reedy from Apollo Beach. Congratulations, Jeff. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Congrats on that, my man. Then let's answer some more questions. See what kind of questions you have for us to wrap up this show. Any other questions? Are you all hiring? We're not currently actively hiring, but we're always accepting applications is the word I'm looking for. So you can stop in, fill out an application, drop off a resume. We're always looking for good qualified people. As far as boats are concerned, it's really hard to find a spot onto the boats. You have to really want it, and you have to really go after it. It's difficult to get onto the boats, to be honest. We do most typically hire for like dockmaster positions. Don's dock positions have been popular as of lately for hiring for those. But we're pretty well staffed up, and we're in a slower time of year, so we're not really looking to hire on at the moment. But we're always looking out for good people and trying to capture high quality team members to the best of our ability. So you're always welcome to stop by, fill out an application, and introduce yourself, but we're not actively hiring, to answer the question. Is there any one specific trip not to miss? No, there really is not. I like them all. The 5-hour half day is great fun for the whole family. If you got people in town who don't like to fish or haven't fished, the 5-hour half day is a great opportunity. If you don't have a lot of time, even just go out there and have a good time with some really light tackle. The half-day trip is a lot of fun. The 10-hour all-day gets you a little bit further for twice as long. You get twice as much fishing time. It's one of those trips that you can still be kind of advanced and try to dial in on some hogfish or some red grouper or some mangrove snapper, but you can still relax, have a beer, and catch a big stringer full of white grunts or gray snapper, as we call them, and still have a lot of fun with light tackle. The 12-hour night snapper trip is great, especially during the summertime. You can fish at night instead of during the day when it's hot. It's great if you have a limited schedule. It's a great way to spend a Friday night drinking some beer and crushing some snapper at night. 12-hour extreme is really great to get out there really fast, really deep, and to catch some big fish and be home by dinner. But it is a little weather sensitive, which makes it a little bit tougher to fit into your schedule. 39-hour trips, 44-hour trips, really kind of a trip of a lifetime. Super unique, tons of fishing time, a really unforgettable experience for sure. So I would say 39 and 44 hours are ones you don't want to ever miss. You want to definitely do that once in your life, but I would work your way up to it. Start with a 5-hour half day or two, then maybe do a 10-hour all day or two, then maybe do a 12-hour night trip, 12-hour extreme trip. And then once you're getting the hang of it and getting to be a more experienced angler, then maybe try a 39-hour trip. As you try a new trip, the learning curve is steeper. You've never been fishing before, you go out on a 5-hour half day, it might be difficult. Then as you do more and more of them, you get better and better, more experienced. You know what works, what doesn't work, what tackle works, what tackle doesn't work. You get it dialed in. Then you start a 10-hour. That learning curve is steeper again. You learn what works and doesn't work. You dial in on the fish, dial in on the tackle. It's easy. Then trying a 12-hour night trip. It's a little bit different. Learning curve gets steep again. And it's definitely a lot of fun trying the different trips, trying the same trip different times of the year. It really changes things, and it's a lot of fun to just get out on the water. There's no bad day of fishing. There's only bad days of work, you know? So get out in the water and go fishing. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. So get out in the water, try different things, try different areas too. I mean, Hubbard's Marina is pretty awesome, and I'm a little biased. I think it's the best, but there's plenty of great private charters all over the state of Florida. And what's really cool about Florida is the Keys is a different fishery. The Panhandle is a different fishery. Destin is a different world. Jupiter sucks, but some people really like it. I'm just kidding. There's like an inside joke about Jupiter with some of my friends, but specifically Mike Dixon from Engle Coolers. He thinks Jupiter is the fishing capital of Florida, and he's crazy. But Jupiter is really, really deep water, really quick, so you have a lot of billfish close to shore. You can go up into like St. John's area, Jacksonville area, and catch mutton snapper. It's every couple hours north and south is just so dramatically different in Florida. So there's a really, really cool opportunity just in our state alone to try a bunch of different areas, a bunch of different boats, find out what works for you. But Hubbard's Marina is pretty great. But Florida-guides.com, you can look up fishing guides all over the state and try different things. Louis Canaveri, appreciate those 100 stars, buddy. You can always reach out to me, too. And if you're going to a different part of Florida, or even anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico, through the fisheries meetings, I've got friends all over the Gulf in different ports and towns. So if you're going on vacation to the Gulf Coast and you can't fish with us because, again, I think we're the best. But if you can't make it to us and you're going somewhere else, you can always reach out to me and I can always try to help you out too. Point you out to someone who will put you on the right path to catching some fish. All right, we got time for one more question, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Do we got another question? Will you ever shoot a catch video from your 12-hour overnight trip? That would be awesome, and it gets asked about a lot, and I would love to be there when a 12-hour night trip comes in, but I have a radio show Saturday mornings from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That trip comes in at 7 a.m., and by the time I leave the studio website, or the studio in Tampa and made it to the dock, they would be gone. So unfortunately unable to do one of those catch videos, but you can always check out our webcams. Josh and Jared, our Hubbard's media team, are trying to ruin my webcam. No, I'm just kidding. They're trying to make it better. We're always innovating here at Hubbard's Marina, and so if you go to info and click, where'd you move the webcams to? It's under info, right? Yeah. Under info, Marina info, webcams, you can find the webcams. We have our John's Pass camera, which I think is pretty awesome and I'm obsessed with. Right now it's looking at where the sunset was, so it's kind of a weird angle. It looks out over the Gulf at night. Then in the morning it'll show you the sunrise. It kind of moves around the pass, and sometimes I get distracted at work and I play around with it, and we might look at dolphins, or we might, the other day we saw an osprey eating a fish, which was pretty cool. It was like Hunger Games on the webcam. So you never know what you're going to see on the John's Pass camera. This is a camera on top of our parking garage, but also we have the fishing boat unloading camera that shows you the boats unloading. We also have the big fish weigh-in camera, which shows you the parking lot where we weigh in the big fish. And we normally have this John's Pass camera streaming live to our YouTube channel. And what Josh and Jared are working on currently is we're actually purchasing another really fancy webcam. We're going to put that out on the dock, and we're going to stream one or the other to their own YouTube channels. We're going to start a new YouTube channel just for a live streaming camera, so we'll have better website webcam presence for the dock, a little different angles. So we're going to add a fourth webcam to the website and have one streaming live to YouTube of the dock. And then the John's Pass camera will likely get its own YouTube channel, so that'll be a little separate. So exciting stuff to come. So to answer your question, I won't be there ever to to watch the 12-hour stream unload and live stream it, but you can always watch our live webcams and see the boats come in, unload fish, and all that good stuff. So really, really cool opportunity just through the website. All right. Are you hungry for venison? I actually had venison, cheddar jalapeno venison sausage for dinner. And I had some packed up, ready to bring to Josh, and forgot it.
What?
It's in the fridge, bud.
What?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I appreciate it.
Yeah, summer sausage. It's really, really, really yummy. So I'll definitely try to get that over to you tomorrow. Maybe.
You just drop it off in the morning. It's fine.
Jared can stop by the house and pick it up.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll Uber. It's fine.
All right. So let's see here. We answered questions. Don't forget to check out our supporters group. Our supporters after show is going to start up at 9:45. You think, Josh? Can we pull that off? 9:45. All right, 9:45 for the supporters after show for the supporters group. If you're not a supporter, you can become one tonight. We're going to drop the link into the chat for you. So it's only $4.99 a month. You get private access to the private after show and the private supporters group. That link is going to be in the chat for you if you want to become a supporter. It's also at the top of our Facebook page as well if you want to become a supporter tonight for $4.99 a month. That's it. hopefully we'll see you for the after show, 9:45 p.m. Also, big thank you to all of those who sent stars tonight. Really, really appreciate it. It's always super appreciated. Hopefully, yeah, Josh ate my crab legs Friday night. You're right, Tony. So thanks for backing me up. I'm glad someone had my back.
Whoa, Tony. You was there too? I seen you grabbing a couple of legs.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see you guys soon for December 30th, Final Friday event. It's going to be a great time. This Final Friday was only the warm-up. I'm going to be there December 30th. It's going to be a great time. So hopefully we'll see you December 30th, Final Friday, for a huge party. December 17th, if you're a Supporters Club member or Regulars Club member, we look forward to seeing you for our Christmas party. Then I think that's all I had as far as events go. But I'll think of something. Well, I'm sure we'll have something coming soon. So stay tuned to our Facebook page. We're going to try to start those morning videos back up for you. We were off for a week. I went on vacation for Thanksgiving with my family. This was my first time missing the Thanksgiving holiday at Hubbard's Marina since I took over management 8 years ago. So it was kind of weird being gone on a busy holiday weekend. I felt a little off balance, I'm not going to lie, but it was important. Got to spend some time with family and enjoy time away from the hustle and bustle. So it was nice, a little 5-day trip up to the mountains and going camping at Fort DeSoto for the next 2 nights, and that'll be fun as well. My son has fully transformed at 3 years old. He knows how to build a fire, kindling, sticks, bigger sticks, build the teepee, leave the door open, feed the kindling with some tree bark. We started a couple fires, and by the end, he was building his own fire. I'm so proud. It's all for the s'mores, though. Don't get it twisted. It's all about building the fire for the s'mores, right? So it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth it. Definitely a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll see you next week and every Sunday night for our live stream show. They're free. We give away lots of free stuff. Hopefully you enjoy the live stream show. Tell your friends, please. Make sure you like our page. Follow us, Hubbard's Marina, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. And then also make sure you check out our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do so. They're good people. Tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you. Thank you for supporters. Thank you for the stars. We appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Super light load on the half-day trip tomorrow. Hopefully you'll come out and join us. Let's see who won our 39-hour fishing trip for one guest. 39-hour fishing trip for one guest. Lucky winner goes to Jono Fertig. What's up? What's up, Joe? Hopefully you and the family are doing well from Ohio. Got a free 39-hour trip for one guest. That's a great excuse to come down and join us for some 39-hour fishing fun, Joe. Y'all have a great night. Tight lines. We'll see you next week for another episode every Sunday night right here, Hubbard's Marina, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Trovo, and Twitch. We'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, y'all.